take one of your recessed zipper pieces and fold one of the short ends a 1/2 inch to the wrong side and press with your iron, and you'll do the same for the other short side, and you'll repeat for all 4 recessed zipper pieces. Next, we need to prepare the ends of our zipper for the recessed zipper. Next, take your zipper, and you'll want to make sure that it's mostly closed, and we need to prepare these raw ends of the zipper. So I'm using Zipper by the Yard, and if you've never used Zipper by the Yard before, I recommend that you check out my how-to instructional video on YouTube. It's really easy to cut the length that you need, and there's minimal waste when you use Zipper by the Yard. So with wrong sides together, you're going to fold each of the top corners at a 90-degree angle. And it's going to be a little stiff because of the zipper coil, but just fold it so that way the raw edges are even. And if you'd like, you can pin it to help hold it. And then you're going to sew just an 1/8 inch along those raw edges to hold that angle in place. And if you need to, you could also try using a stiletto to help hold the zipper. And I backstitch a few times to make sure that the fold stays in place. Make sure that your zipper is mostly closed, and with right sides together, you're going to position your zipper against one of your recessed zipper pieces. And you're going to align the long raw edges together, and then you're also going to align the folded edge of the zipper with the folded edge of your recessed zipper piece. And you're going to pin in place along the entire length of the recessed zipper piece. And I usually like to pin quite a bit around this folded edge of the zipper to make sure that it lays nice and flat. And then make sure you put a pin in the fold on the end of the recessed zipper piece. Then you're going to layer another recessed zipper piece right side down and pin it in place, aligning those folds and that long raw edge. Then you'll take this over to your sewing machine and sew the layers together along that top raw edge with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Also, make sure you put a pin in the end of the recessed zipper piece so the fold doesn't flip over when we go to sew it. And if for some reason your fabrics don't exactly line up once you reach the other end of your recessed zipper piece, you can adjust the folds just to make sure that they line up. That's what the important part is that your folds are even on each end of the recessed zipper piece. After sewing, you're going to fold both of the recessed zipper pieces away from your zipper, and you'll take it over to your iron and press, so that way it is tight against your seam and they're flat. And your raw edges of your recessed zipper pieces should line up. Then you're going to take this back to your sewing machine and top stitch on each of the side edges and along the length of the seam that we just stitched with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. So you're just going to start here at the folded edge, sew an 1/8 of an inch to your seam, sew an 1/8 of an inch down the length of your seam, and then also sew up the other side edge. Now you repeat the exact same process to attach the remaining 2 recessed zipper pieces to the opposite side of your zipper. The next step is to finish off the end of our zipper on our recessed zipper. So we can't leave this end raw. So we're going to need to either finish it off by creating a fabric tab or a metal zipper end. If you decide to make your zipper tab out of fabric, with wrong sides together, you're going to fold each of the shorter ends to the center, and you'll take this over to your iron and press. Next, with wrong sides together, so this is the wrong side with the raw edge in the middle, you're going to fold each of the raw length side edges to the center. and you could use some of that basting tape that we used earlier to help hold the folds in place. Or what I like to do is just spray my fabric with a bit of spray starch, such as Best Press, and then give it a good press at the iron, and just making sure all those raw edges are tucked in and even. Lastly, you're going to fold your tab in half, so that way you match the shorter edges. And your tab should now measure 3/4 of an inch wide and 1 inch high. Now I'll show you how to attach your fabric tab to the end of your zipper. So first, you're going to need to fold your zipper tape so that way it measures 3/4 of an inch wide, and just take this over to your sewing machine and add a few stitches across the end so that way your folds hold in place. Then you're going to take your fabric tab and butt up the raw edge of the zipper inside that fold, and fold the fabric tab over the end of your zipper. And you might have to adjust some of the folds, make sure everything is tucked in and looks nice. And again, this would be much easier if I stitched this first and then put the tab on. But then you can take some of your pins or sewing clips and clip the tab in place. And you'll take this over to your sewing machine and top stitch the tab in place with an 1/8 inch on all 4 side edges. I personally like to finish off the raw edges of my zipper tape with a metal zipper tab. Metal zipper tabs come in a variety of colors. I offer them in 5 colors currently on my website, so you can match it to whichever coil color that your zipper tape is, so all of your hardware matches and looks very professional together. Also included with your zipper tab is a small screw. I like to recommend either a size 0 or a size 1 screwdriver to install that tiny little screw. So to install this piece of hardware is really very simple. I like to use glue to help hold the zipper in place as well as the screw, just for some extra reinforcement. So I always start by adding some glue to the inside of my zipper stop, and I'm using E6000. It's a permanent industrial strength glue, but you could also use hot glue or any craft glue that you have around the house. I put a generous amount inside the zipper tab. And then you're going to want to wrap the end of your zipper. So fold the raw edges in. And when I fold the zipper tape, usually I fold one side all the way first, and then the other side I usually fold till about where the coil starts, and then I fold it once more. So everything is nice and tight, and it'll fit nice inside the zipper end. And then I just place it inside the opening, as far in as it will go. And then I turn it over to the back side and then just simply screw in the screw for extra reinforcement. And if you happen to lose this small screw, I do have extra available. Otherwise, glue usually will hold it in place just fine if you can't find your small screw. And now you have a professional looking zipper end. You can purchase Sallie Tomato zipper ends from my website or request them at your local fabric shop.